The magic you've been taught to hide in the back room is actually the only force capable of healing the community that demands your silence. And true belonging requires not suppressing your craft, but letting it steep until the whole town tastes its truth. In The Tea Witch of Clover Hollow, Eireann Maguire delivers a cozy witch romance that transforms the small-town magical trope into a luminous exploration of feminine reclamation and communal care, proving that in villages where tradition is law, liberation isn't found in escaping your roots. It's forged in the radical act of brewing something new from old leaves. This isn't merely another quaint tale with enchanted beverages. It's a psychologically precise narrative where every blend feels like both remedy and rebellion. Consent to belong is negotiated through mutual recognition rather than assumed conformity. And love means honoring the woman beneath the apron when culture demands she remain invisible. From the first bergamot-scented narration, listeners are immersed in a world where herbs are history and presence is the only true infusion. Perfect for fans of emotionally intelligent, cozy fantasy and stories where female agency thrives within constraint. This audiobook serves up atmospheric warmth, relentless emotional honesty, and protagonists whose journey from reluctant heir to sovereign tea witch resonates with anyone who's ever been told their gifts were too strange for polite society. When Alara Vance inherits her grandmother's failing tea shop in Clover Hollow, she expects quiet retirement, not to discover the recipes and code's suppressed histories the town has spent decades erasing. And the grumpy contractor hired to renovate the space, Julian Thorne, carries wounds that mirror her own buried grief. But as they navigate crumbling plaster and buried attractions, Ilara realizes this inheritance isn't about preservation, it's about recalibration. Maguire masterfully avoids reducing Ilara to quirky stereotype or Julian to oblivious mortal. Instead, she crafts a relationship rooted in radical reciprocity within constraint, where trust is earned through honoring boundaries even as desire blurs them, and where intimacy emerges from seeing each other beyond roles. The audiobook narration amplifies this emotional alchemy, capturing Ilara's disciplined composure softening into genuine receptivity, and Julian's guarded intensity revealing warmth beneath stoic vigilance. You don't just hear their bond deepen, you feel the seismic shift of two souls learning that some magic can only be shared when you stop apologizing for taking up space. What elevates The Tea Witch of Clover Hollow beyond typical cozy witch fare is its nuanced portrayal of folk magic as collaborative creation rather than nostalgic escape. Ilara isn't merely rediscovering power, she's confronting how respectability taught her to equate worth with utility, challenging the notion that safety requires self-effacement. Julian doesn't validate her through praise, he creates space where her contradictions can exist without performance, honoring her autonomy even as his own walls crumble. Their relationship evolves through acts of radical reciprocity, sharing silences during late-night renovations that bypass pretense, establishing rhythms that protect both structural integrity and emotional safety, and defending each other from relatives who mistake evolution for impropriety. Supporting characters add vital texture: elderly patrons whose gossip encodes suppressed history, young apprentices whose curiosity reflects inherited hope, even the tea shop itself, rendered as living archive whose wooden shelves absorb centuries of unspoken bargains. Every interaction reinforces the novel's core truth. In economies built on image, authenticity is insurgency, and presence is the only true harvest. Even the cozy mechanics serve thematic depth, with tea blending mirroring emotional attunement and seasonal cycles becoming metaphors for earned renewal. For audiobook listeners, this production is pure auditory nectar with substance. The narrator embodies Ilara and Julian with remarkable distinction. Ilara's voice carries warm intelligence laced with dawning sovereignty, while Julian's low timbre trembles with suppressed tenderness beneath disciplined cadence, making their chemistry palpable even during quiet exchanges. Sound design enhances atmosphere without overwhelming immersion. Distant kettle whistles marking temporal rhythm, rain against leaded windows during vulnerable confessions, the hushed rustle of dried leaves sinking with breath during moments of clarity, all anchor emotional stakes and sensory reality. Pacing mirrors the cadence of restoration, deliberate during reflection and foundational bonding, then surging with urgency as external pressures collide with internal breakthroughs. Whether you're commuting through urban chaos or sitting in twilight solitude, the audiobook creates a portable sanctuary where slowness feels sacred and connection feels lifeline. It's storytelling as embodied validation, transforming passive listening into active participation in a love story that honors both duty and desire. Ultimately, The Tea Witch of Clover Hollow redefines cozy witch romance by centering female epistemology within communal frameworks. It satisfies genre cravings for satisfying chemistry and hopeful resolution, while delivering substantive commentary on heritage ethics, masculine vulnerability, and the radical act of building partnerships based on mutual recognition rather than rescue. No prior series knowledge is needed. It stands confidently as a complete emotional odyssey. If you've ever wondered whether magic can coexist with maturity, or if true strength requires embracing what others dismiss, this audiobook will affirm that sometimes the most powerful spell is simply allowing yourself to be tasted. Press play, pour the cup, and prepare to believe that even in landscapes shaped by expectation, hearts still find ways to bloom. Your next favorite cozy isn't waiting in perfect vistas. It's waiting in the brave, trembling choice to honor the leaf and the legacy.